All right, here we go.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We begin with Shalom Aleichem, welcoming the angels of Shabbat into our midst.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Malachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm Rabbi Nanus here with Cantor Gurney for Shabbat Noah's Ark, celebrating the animals in the Noah story. We're not going to focus on the people. We're not going to focus on the good people, the bad people, the water, the flood, but on the beautiful animals who, according to the Midrash, were the creme de la creme of each species and who behaved beautifully and got along so beautifully and with peace for the 40 days and 40 nights in the ark. But before we go further on that theme, I want to invite the B'nai Mitzvah families to join us for the lighting of the Shabbat candles. We have Alex Glavichik with his father, David, and mother, Rena. Welcome, Shabbat Shalom. And we have Robbie Stambouli, and his parents are somewhere in the background, Jody and Jacques. And hi, Shabbat Shalom. And we're going to begin with the lighting of the candles. So we invite the mothers, if you are near your candlesticks, to please light the candles first. Or sisters. We have sisters Lily and Amelie also. Beautiful. Cantor.
Let's all join together. We bring the light of Shabbat in. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat.
We continue with the Kiddush, the Kiddush.
Do you have a cup there? Let's hold that cup up together, shall we?
Oh, you don't have a cup.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילך למקרא קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen.
And now, look what I have.
Oh my.
Allah for
Can
the
you share that through the internet with us?
Absolutely.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom and mazel tov to Alex and Robbie. I know you're going to do a great job tomorrow at your B'nai Mitzvah, and we're all very proud of you. So enjoy your Shabbat dinner and the continuation of our Shabbat service. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So Cantor, where's Teddy? Where's your pet?
Teddy is home.
Oh, you're not
You're
home.
going to see him. You're going to see him many times throughout the evening.
Okay. So as I said, this is the celebration of animals, of the great contribution our pets in particular make to our lives. And scientifically, the doctors have found that pets not only prolong your life, but they improve your life. So they protect your heart, because when you have a pet, you have decreased blood pressure or cholesterol levels and decreased triglycerides from having a pet. It's a buffer against stress and helps with PTSD, depression. People with autism and children, particularly with autism and learning disabilities, are calmed down and able to learn better and communicate better when they have an animal. For older people, it keeps your brain sharp. Of course, you do more exercise when you have a pet. I didn't know this though. Pets ease your pain. They show people who have surgeries and then have an animal or a pet with them, they need less pain medication if they have a pet. It makes your kids less likely to have allergies. And this is a new one. I did not know this. And certain dogs, particularly, can smell cancer on people. They can detect cancer and they start licking or something on people's bodies, and they found that they can detect cancer. So they're amazing. And of course, they give us so much joy and happiness because they love us unconditionally. They don't judge us. They don't care about our politics. They don't care about our clothes. They don't care about which shul we belong to or which denomination. They just love us. So we're celebrating all of that today, and with you and your pets as well. But, and so what we're going to, and actually, so this is my interesting transition to Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, we know, is the song, a wedding song between the Jewish people and the Shabbat. But pets are often in people's weddings now. They have their pets coming down the aisle at weddings. They're truly part of their family. So I hope you have your pets close by as you watch this service, and we begin with Lecha Dodi.
Here we go. Lecha Dodi likrat kahla. Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi likrat kala. Shabbat Kabbalat. Shahamor zachor b'diburecha. במחשבה תחילה. לך אדוני, אדוני לקראת חלה, נשבת קבלה, אדוני לקראת חלה, נשבת קבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך אדוני, אדוני לקראת חלה, נשבת קבלה, אדוני לקראת חלה, נשבת קבלה. בואי שלום הטרם עלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני המסולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך אדוני, אדוני לקראת חלה, נשבת קבלה, אדוני לקראת חלה, נשבת קבלה, אדוני לקראת חלה, נשבת קבלה,
That just gives me such a uplift, makes me so happy. It's a really great way to start Shabbat or Shabbos, as we say in my house. So I now want to actually start our service with a blessing for our pets. And then we're going to have a beautiful song and following that. Now, we had asked people to send in photos of themselves with their pets just for this special Shabbat. And we got, 80 photos that we're going to be showing throughout the service. So I begin now with this blessing for our pets. Rabbono Shalom, Master of the Universe, we ask you to bless our pets with your light and love. May our beloved animals have good health, happy lives, and always be protected and safe. We ask for better understanding to learn from their innocence, their loyalty, and their unconditional acceptance. Thank you for the pleasures of their playfulness and sometimes their surprising humor. Thank you for their companionship and friendship, especially during those lonely hours that we have experienced. Thank you for the gift of their pure love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei kol ba'alei chayim. Blessed are you, source of all creation, maker of all living creatures. On the 5th and 6th days of creation, you called forth the fish of the seas, the birds in the air, and the animals on the land. You inspired us to call animals our brothers and sisters. We ask you to bless these animals who have so enriched our lives. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, in all your creatures. Amen.
Amen. And we have a special piece of music for all of you to enjoy now with photographs. Bless the beasts and the children, for in this world they have no voice. They have no choice. Bless the beasts and the children, for the world can never be the world they see. Light their way when the darkness surrounds them. Give them love, let it shine all around them. Bless the beast and the children, give them shelter from the storm. Keep them warm. Keep them warm. Light their way when the darkness surrounds them. Give them love, let it shine all around them. Bless the beast and the children, give them shelter from the storm. Keep them safe. Keep them warm. The children.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Well, now we feel very inspired to thank God for these beautiful creatures as we begin our evening service with the Baruch. If you would like to rise, please do so. We continue with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed. We join together in V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
So, Cantor, when I was thinking about this service and I was thinking about the Micha Mocha, Cantor,
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I do.
Yeah,
I can hear
you're
you
muted.
very well.
I think you're muted.
No, I shouldn't be.
Okay, I was wondering, do you think when the children of Israel, the Israelites crossed, the sea, they brought their animals with them? I wonder about that.
That's
What do
a
you
great
think?
question. I have to say, honestly, I never thought of that.
But they had like food and milk. I mean, was it only manna or did they have animals with them? I'm not sure, but I thought about that. And I know there's a beautiful midrash that when this is a midrash, but when the Red Sea split, or the Sea of Reeds, as we say, there was a path and there were trees and there were birds singing to the Jewish people as they crossed to the other side. So there were some living creatures, some beautiful living creatures, at least there. But I always wondered if they brought some of their animals with them. I haven't found anything, but it's be interesting to research. But we can keep it in mind for on this Shabbat, we're thinking they did bring their animals. They couldn't leave them behind as we sing the Micha Mocha.
Yeah,
And
I
the
would
animals
agree,
were,
right?
what?
I
What?
would agree. How could they have left them at home, right?
I
They had
don't
to
think
take-
so.
Yeah, they had to take them with them.
I think so too. So
Yeah.
they were also grateful to have crossed over to the other side.
I'm sure
It's
they
very special Micha Mocha.
Here we go. Let's all join together. Enjoy.
Where am I? Oh,
You're right here. I see
I got
you.
this connected. I so apologize.
Okay.
Our technology is not working in our favor because it's too complex for animals. It's too complex for this human animal as well sometimes.
But the good thing is you crossed the sea to freedom and there, you arrived at that gorgeous landscape and sunset. So you're safe
I'm
and you're fine.
I'm fine. We continue now with the Hashki Venu, which is a prayer for a sukkah of peace, a shelter of peace over us. Certainly in these troubled times with all the things going on, just this a sense of peace that Shabbat can bring to us is so welcome. And it's such a simple thing, but so precious when you don't have it. So we have that in mind as we sing Hashki Venu. I was teaching the B'nai Mitzvah kids last week about the Amida. And it's so interesting because most people, we say the Amida every week, and most people don't even know this, that the Amida was the very first prayer, organized prayer written for our liturgy. It was written by the men of the Great Assembly in Babylonia when the Jews were exiled after the destruction of the first temple. Everybody was having what I call a spiritual nervous breakdown because the house of God had been destroyed. They were no longer in their land, and they didn't know how to communicate with God. They had been giving sacrifices and, having the priests be their intermediaries. And now there was no temple, and people didn't know where God was. And the men of the Great Assembly, who I imagine were scholars and rabbis and sages and scribes, came together and they said, we're going to communicate with God in a new way. We're going to speak to God. We're going to pray. And the people said, well, what will we say? We don't know what to say. How do we speak to God? And that's when they wrote the Amida. The Amida as the first prayer to God, where we first ask for in the name of our ancestors for God to bless us, and then we make these requests. So it's called Ha Tefillah, the prayer, because it was the prayer, and we're still saying it 2,500. We're still praying it 2,500 years later. So now we begin with the Amida.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
We now take a few moments for silent meditation.
And I believe in a few moments we're going to have some beautiful teaching.
And you're not going to sing a closing song.
Oh, we'll sing a closing song.
Okay.
For sure we will.
Well, before we do the teaching, let's do a Misha Berach. If there's anyone in our lives right now who need healing, physical healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, I know there are a lot of people in our community who are suffering from different kinds of ailments, and we want to give you all blessings. So if there's someone you're thinking of, oh, even if it's yourself, say your name or their names out loud now and have them in your heart and in your mind as the cantor chants the Misha Berach.
Berach Avotim, Kol HaBracha Aimotim, may the source of strength bless our ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. Let us say,
Amen. So, interesting enough, I didn't know this, but throughout history, the Jewish people were known as being particularly kind to animals. And it's a mandate in the Torah and in the Talmud that we can never be cruel to animals. And we learned this in the very beginning of the book of Genesis. First of all, of course, with creation, and God created all the beautiful birds and fish and animals and said, go forth and multiply and fill the earth. And he said to Adam and Eve that you are the stewards. You are not the rulers, but the stewards of these animals, meaning you need to care for them and look out for them and look after them. And in our first love story in the Torah, which is the story of Isaac and Rebekah, on the way to finding a wife for Isaac, the servant of Abraham is praying to God, show me a woman who would be worthy. Show me the right wife for my master's son. And he's praying this, and he comes to a well, and here comes Rebekah. And he says to her, because she's one of the girls near the well, may I have some water? And not only does she give him water, but then she proceeds to water his 10 camels. So her thoughts for the thirsty animals is what won over Eliezer, and he knew this would be the right wife for Isaac. But we see already in the one of these our first stories, kindness to animals is a sense of, shows character. It shows a good heart. The rabbis say anyone who is harmful to an animal actually harms their own soul. You're cruel, and the way you treat animals will reflect the way you treat people. And they came out with many laws of how to take care of animals. They say that a person must feed his animals before himself. So it's a law in the Torah that before you eat, you must feed your animals, your farm animals, your pets, or whatever. And this was extraordinary. We take it for granted, but it was extraordinary that in the 10 Commandments, the Shabbat commandment also extends to animals. Your animals have to rest too. And in the ancient world, that was unheard of. The slaves didn't rest. Nobody rested except the very rich. Even children and daughters and sons were property of the father, and he could tell them to do whatever he wanted. But here in the Torah, even animals must rest. So there's a respect for animals from the very beginning. They also say that an animal's suffering must be relieved. Maimonides talks about how if you see someone, an animal of burden, and it's carrying too heavy a load, even if it's not yours, you see it, you have to help unload the burden from the animal. You can't just walk by and see a suffering animal. You're not allowed to buy an animal or own an animal unless you can provide a good home, food and shelter for the animal. And you're not allowed to sell an animal to someone who is not kind and who can take care of the animal. So you have to be, very concerned about your domestic animals, your pets. I actually, was teaching about ancient Israel last week, and the architecture of the homes of the ancient Israelites were 2 stories, and the family lived on the 2nd story, and the animals lived on the 1st story, like kind of like a barn, and then there were steps, and the family lived above the animals. So the relationship was very close. You lived with your animals, you knew them very well, and you cared for them, you became attached to them. So we see that this tradition, and also shepherds are particularly honored in our tradition. King David was a shepherd. Moses was a shepherd. This idea of being kind and caring to the sheep, to the lambs, to the strays, also reflects a kind of a character that we honor and extol. There are other laws that are interesting. You can desecrate the Shabbat. You can break the Shabbat in order to care for a wounded animal. So it's on that level again with saving a life. We say you can break Shabbat to save a human life, but to care for a wounded animal, you can also do that. And the other thing is that hunting is considered shameful and forbidden by Jews, that it's considered cruel to be a hunter. So I wonder actually if that's one of the reasons Esau didn't get the birthright, because he was a hunter and Jacob did, and he was more of a shepherd. I'm just thinking about that now. So we see that, and then finally, I wanted to add this. There was, in the 12th century, in Sefer Hasidim, which was a book written by a Hasidic master, he wrote, "Be kind and compassionate to all creatures that the Holy One, blessed be He, created in this world. Never beat nor inflict pain on any animal, beast or bird or insect. Do not throw stones at a dog or cat. And to inflict pain on any living creature is considered a sin in the Torah." So we see how much we love how much we love animals according to Jewish tradition. And you have to reflect that a lot of animals today are going extinct because we're not preserving the mandate that we were given by God to take care of animals, not to hunt, not to let them die because of pollution or because of the drought that we're causing. So we're responsible for all the living creatures on the earth. That is our blessing. That is our responsibility. And may we take that seriously. Now the Cantor is going to sing another beautiful song.
Let me just set it up. Susan, thank you for those beautiful words and to inspire our thinking about certain things. I had not thought about Esau in that respect, of course. I mean, he is portrayed as this kind of rough, uncivilized, person.
But hunter, they call him a hunter.
He was a hunter,
Right.
Absolutely. It's fascinating to think, though, because the hunter was, in other cultures, certainly the highest value.
Yeah, the hero.
Who
Exactly.
would bring the food?
Yeah.
Right? So who knows? The song you're about to see and hear is titled Noah, appropriate for this weekend. And it's a song written years ago by the great composer Joe Raposo. Many of you may not know his name, but you know many of his songs. He wrote most of the music and the songs for Sesame Street. And a few decades ago, Frank Sinatra recorded an album, Old Blue Eyes Is Back, and with a number of Raposo songs on it. And that's the first time that I had heard that song. And I thought of that song for this weekend. And it's a beautiful song. And I know Tess Cutler, our genius producer behind the scenes, our artistic producer, has created a beautiful montage for this as well. So enjoy this beautiful song, Noah, by Joe Raposo. A tiny blue-green ark
afloat in darkest space, and every creature lives its time and knows its special place. And each of us is Noah, with a life all in our care, to keep against the darkness that's flooding everywhere. We've got to walk with the lion, soar with the eagle, sing with the nightingale, and live in love and peace. The times have made us fearful, and the fears have brought the tears. Loneliness and darkness have grown bitter with the year. But a light is just beyond us, and the children almost see a world that we've forgotten, and the world they want to be. We've got to walk with the lion, soar with the eagle, sing with the nightingale, and live in love and peace. The ark is getting crowded now, and each of us must know, when everything is finished here, there's nowhere else to go. The beasts are here to bless us, and the faith is in their eyes, that we can find the garden and see that sweet dawn rise. We've got to walk with the lion, soar with the eagle, sing with the nightingale, and live in love and peace. We've got to walk with the lion, soar with the eagle, sing with the nightingale, and live in love and peace.
You know, it's so amazing about animals, because we think of pets, we mainly think of cats and dogs. But I've seen videos of relationships between people and, you know, a little pig, a chicken, a swan, you know, of course, a horse. We didn't even talk about horses and elephants. I mean, it seems like animals. Yeah, I actually saw somebody with a pet chicken. That animals are willing. Oh, and of course, dolphins, to relate to us, to connect with us. And we really are less different than we think. We all have feelings, we all have emotions, we all have an ability to create relationships. And if the one thing that we learn from Noah's Ark, the Noah's Ark story, to me, is that not God, but humanity can either preserve the world or destroy the world. We don't need a flood from God to destroy the world. We could do it ourselves, or we could preserve the world and make it the beautiful gift that God gave us. And it's really all in our hands. To me, that's the message of Noah. So before
you know what, Susan, if I might just say to you that, you know, we were on our way to destroying the world when God decided, you're all corrupt, right?
Yeah.
God saw that we were destroying the world, so I'm going to stop you. I'm going to wipe it all out and start all over again.
Right. That's the story of Noah, but
right. And Noah interceded.
Yeah. Or Noah being the one that he preserves. And as Rabbi Leader said today in his message, he used to look down on Noah, and now I really respect him because he did the best he could considering the times that he lived in. He did quite good, and good is good enough. You don't have to be perfect. So I really love what Rabbi Leader said this today.
Absolutely. By the way, I will just put in a little plug because tomorrow morning, Shabbat morning, Rabbi Leader and I are going to be doing our Shabbat morning service at 10 a.m. And I know that Rabbi Leader is going to get into that even deeper, and we'll have a little conversation about it. It's so rich. It's so complex, the story of Noah, right?
That is true.
So you can join us. Yeah.
And next Friday night, we're going to be doing Klezmer Shabbat with a live Klezmer band in Hasidic Tales. Mm-hmm. And it should be very special. And hopefully we won't have any technological problems next week because it's going to be in the sanctuary. And we invite you all to join us.
Let me say this. We're going to do everything we possibly can to be live in the sanctuary. I think there's a good chance we're going to do some testing on Tuesday with all the technology. And I'm praying that we get to do it for everybody's sake, right? No more internet issues being in backyards and people's homes. Right. And also for all of us to be back in our magnificent, glorious sanctuary together. So let's hope those two things work, and we'll keep you posted.
Absolutely. And just a few other announcements. If you've been following our new courses this sessions in Simchat Torah, so on Tuesday, we'll be having Judaism, the basics and beyond. We're doing these concepts of Judaism, and it's going to be Rabbi Eshel talking about Israel. On Wednesday, we're doing Epics of Jewish History, and it will be the Golden Age of Spain and the Spanish Inquisition with Rabbi Bo Shapiro. Also, yes, starting this Tuesday, we're going to be having straight from Israel, a fabulous lecture called of European Jewish Journeys with Mike Hollander, who is a big tour guide and educator from Tel Aviv. He's going to be talking to us at 9:30 on Tuesday morning. Number one is Poland. So we hope you'll join us for that. And I invite you to watch Culture Mavens, our weekly different programming that you can see culture all over the country. So that is all we have for this week. But, check your WBT at home every day to see what else is happening. We come now to the time where we remember those who are no longer with us as we prepare to say Kaddish. And we start with mentioning the names of those who passed away in the past 30 days during Shloshim.
We call to mind first those who have died during this Shloshim, this past 30 days. Pauline Abrahams, Marilyn Brown, Al Fincy, Marjorie Zash Flicker, Randy Gingold, Monty Gordon, Lily Markowitz, Lori Opper, Edna Stearns, Jack Stearns, and Bob Whitman. We add to their names the names of those whose yortzites, the anniversary of whose deaths, were commemorated during this past week. Jack Anditch, Richard Becker, Terry Bell, Mura Ben-Gera, Barbara Blacker, Ida Block, Maxine Bookman, Tom Bosley, Helen Breitbart, Chris Breskin, Lee Bruckman, William Calvert, Aileen Carr, May Colburn, Sam Cordova, Roger Kramer, Donald Deschelle, Fred Fallick, Harry Feldman, Mark Fox, Emma Friedman, Carrie Gerson, David Goodman, Lawrence Goodman, Eugene Goodman, Sidney Gutman, Louis Handel, Ada Hecht, Harvey Hertz, Sally Hollenby, Louis Hyman, Jerome Jaffe, Fake Cater, Reuben Commissar, Rose Kunnel, Iris Lanyadoo, Jerome Lightman, Harry Lever, Russell Leventhal, Harlan Liss, Patricia Malamud, Alvin Mark, Ray Maturin, Minnie Meadow, Esther Medina, Sandy Menion, Marvin Miller, Melinda Miller, Paul Miller, Marion Millett, Gilbert Mombach, Lawrence Newman, Greta Panish, Laura Pashkow, Sam Prell, Eva Reese, Dorothy Ressler, Max Rice, Barbara Rich, Bernard Rodsky, Elise Rosenfield, Joan Rosenzweig, Ethel Rubin, Stuart Saxey, Hannah Sanders, Lisa Schiller, Lee Schulinger, Lily Chappelle, Malia Schleinberg, Louis Slutsky, Irving Stoller, Lillian Stone, Jerome Sugarman, Aileen Sweet, Albert Toman, Betty Trager, Albert Touche, Louis Tuller, Clara Waldau, Howard Weinstock, Elaine Weiss, Renee White, Louis Ziff, and Molly Ziff. We also call to mind those we do not know but to whom we are deeply grateful. All of those who have died defending the United States of America and the State of Israel. The innocent victims of senseless terrorism and tragedy and disease all over the world. And everyone who has no one to say Kaddish for them, we take them all as our own as we enter now into words of Kaddish.
If you would like to rise, please do so now. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. V'yalma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chaye chon u'v'yomei chon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala u'v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'mei omaya. Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit alal, shmei dekudesha, b'richu. Le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiram v'yalma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom. Have a beautiful Shabbat.